Snipers, you have to see what's happening in the cryptocurrency market today, as it is clear that Bitcoin is having a successful rescue operation with the price now back above 34,788, which is now going to be the most important support level for us to start watching. And Bitcoin is heading towards the 50-day moving average, where there's now confluence with the $38,000 resistance level. If this resistance breaks, this is going to be a massive moment for Bitcoin, because that could be the confirmation that we're heading straight towards the 200-day moving average at 44,000 US dollars. That's when we can start assuming a potential reversal in the more macro trend. This is an extremely important time for Bitcoin, but more importantly, the overall total cryptocurrency market cap, because if we look at what's happening to altcoins, we'll take a look at Ethereum, but others' dominance showing signs of strength exactly as we want at this multi-year support level. And the reason I am excited about this is because every analyst is saying altcoin season is over, but I've been maintaining myself saying that as long as we're above the 20-week moving average at home base, the altcoin chart is the most bullish chart in the cryptocurrency market right now, because it's the only one that has yet to cross below the 200-day moving average. You look at Bitcoin, you look at Ethereum, the US dollar price has crossed below the 200-day moving average, but the others dominance chart, which does factor in Ethereum and all other altcoins in the market, is actually showing a bullish retest of a multi-year support that now can make us assume that we could potentially start to see the early signs of a lower high, or potentially even a higher high form here, meaning that altcoins could be stronger than Bitcoin coming into Q3 and Q4. The question is, what altcoins are those going to be? Is this actually going to come to fruition? So far, it looks really good. When we look at the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, the leading indicator for most altcoins, way above home base at the 20-week moving average. The daily chart showing an extremely bullish retest of the 100-day moving average. For those that have been tuned into the Cypress channel, we took our altcoin positions down at these lower levels 2 days ago when Ethereum to the US dollar price tested the 1760 area for the first time since we came down from the initial lows that Bitcoin saw on the 23rd of May. That allowed us to get in a position at 1777, but we didn't just enter Ethereum. For those in the Discord, the link is in the description below. We entered MakerDAO at 1945. We entered Link at $16.25. These trades are already 15% in profit. Kusama, 35% in profits. We entered at 165. Altcoins are showing more strength than Bitcoin during this bounce. And as I talked about yesterday, this higher low that Bitcoin formed on the 26th of June, which was a couple days ago, it was Saturday, was the best opportunity to enter into altcoins throughout this whole consolidation period. Is this going to be the trend as we head into Q3 and Q4, that altcoins are going to be strong against Bitcoin? That's something we're going to talk about today. We'll take a look at traditional markets like the DXY, gold, and the S&P 500, how that's going to affect the cryptocurrency market. But it's clear right now, as we talked about yesterday, when we pulled the 4-hour chart up, Bitcoin was having a cup of coffee after testing the $34,788 level. Whatever analyst you guys watch on YouTube may have said the $33,000 level, the $32,000 level. Obviously, those didn't give us the confirmations like the $34,788 level did, because look, we formed this bullish flag like I talked about yesterday, and continuation of the upside, now heading towards the monthly open at 37,300. Bitcoin is primed to come to 38,000, test the 200-day moving average. We get above the 200-day moving average. Now we have a potential reversal in trend. Now that's going to take Bitcoin a lot of time here, potentially, because there's this big range between the $38,000 level and the $41,950 level, but it's all on the table, especially across of this 50-day moving average to the 200-day moving average. There's a lot to look at today. You guys are watching the Snipers channel. My name is Naeem Al-Abeidi. Remember to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm and turn on those post notifications. Click the bell and click all, because you'll get all of our updates as soon as our videos are posted. So that'll ensure you don't miss out. First, I want to talk about what's happening in Bitcoin and continue from where we left off yesterday. We came down, formed this higher low, had this bullish flag at 34,788. Bitcoin telling us this is an important level. This right now, 34,788 is more important than ever. We need to hold this level to assume continued upside for not just Bitcoin, but the overall markets, including altcoins. But here's what I'm thinking. It's pretty clear at this point, Bitcoin's going to have the opportunity to test the $38,000 level with the 50-day moving average here. But the real question is, could we get to the 200-day moving average? Well, in my opinion, if Bitcoin sees the strength and the continuation as we're expecting right now, heading towards the $38,000 level, it's going to be a very momentous time to see what happens here, because if we see a rejection and we see continued consolidation for Bitcoin between 38,000 and 35,000, that to me is a confirmation it's time to look at altcoins right now, because you're going to be waiting a long time if you're hoping Bitcoin is going to break out of the $38,000 level. If we truly see sell pressure and volume come in and reject the Bitcoin price at the $38,000 level where we have this 50-day moving average. Now, let's say the opposite happens. We come into the weekend, we break through 38,000. That, to me, puts the altcoin scenario off the table, and I think we could see some strength with Bitcoin dominance, but the $38,000 level right now is more important than it's ever been. If we cross above this, that could show a lot of strength for Bitcoin. Of course, altcoins will do well, but I think Bitcoin may take the time during this gap to get to 41,950 to get its dominance a little bit higher. But to be quite frank with you, I think 38,000 is going to be a tough level. So we see a consolidation here. There's the monthly open, which is below the $38,000 level at 37,500. Staying above that is going to be a sign of strength. Still staying below the monthly open and being above 35,000 assumes that Bitcoin just wants to move sideways. So that's what I'm watching right now. The $34,788 level should not break if we want to assume continued upside in this market. And as long as that is the storyline, we potentially could have seen the best opportunity already to have entered back into altcoin positions like Ethereum, because, of course, we look at the Ethereum to US dollar price, which is cranking in comparison to Bitcoin. And it's not just Ethereum. A lot of altcoins like MakerDAO, Link are doing a lot better than Bitcoin. You can see we're above the 200-day moving average, showing strength, testing the 1760 area where the only level below 1760 was 1440. I hope you got your entries here, because the 1440 is the previous all-time high in any market cycle in the cryptocurrency market. We've never retested an all-time high after breaking out. So this was almost like completely off the table. I hope you guys got the entries in. For those in the Discord, you know I sent that entry out. Now we potentially could see this 22.43 previous weekly open break for Ethereum. That's a straight shot to the monthly open at 2,700. That's going to put the altcoins being stronger than Bitcoin scenario on fire, because that's a 20% push to the upside, and Bitcoin can do whatever it wants. If Ethereum breaks 24 or 2240, then that is the previous weekly open. The only next level of resistance is going to be the monthly open at 2,700, assuming a 20% push to the upside, because remember, Ethereum is in this big range between 3,400 and 1980. So when we got our entries at 1760 and we got above 1980, that was when it was like, bam, we got what we wanted, because now there's so much potential upside. And the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart is showing that exact scenario with strength above the 100-day moving average. We have Ethereum 2.0 coming out. We're heading towards 65,000 Satoshis. If we get above that, the moon for Ethereum. And so watch 65,000 Satoshis. To the downside, we stay above 53,500. We're still in a bullish trend. The total cryptocurrency market cap chart coming back, testing the 200-day moving average. I think we'll get above this. I think that there's going to be a lot of volatility here. We're really just seeing reallocation of capital from SHIT coins to fundamentally sound altcoins, right? So I didn't want to say the word, but we're really seeing where the smart money is heading. That's no surprise for those that have been tuned into the Cypress channel. We've been talking about the best projects since 2017. And so hopefully you guys are never confused. Others' dominance doing exactly what we want. That's telling me that getting above 13% dominance, we're going to start to see strength back here for that higher high or that lower high to form. And with Bitcoin dominance, we are starting to curve back down. We have this area of resistance at 48%. We've yet to conquer that. We're starting to curve before it. Below the weekly open, are we seeing the dominance come back down? That's on the table. The traditional markets are exactly why we expected the continuation of the upside for Bitcoin, knowing that the DXY was still having its cup of coffee here, retesting this 200-day moving average. We do want to watch this chart because right now the DXY is moving to the upside. If we break this previous high, that could assume more volatility here. This is a rocket that just started to launch when Jerome Powell was talking about interest rates. Let's monitor this. This right here could be a bad thing for the markets, but it doesn't look like that is going to be too much of a deterrence in the short term because we're having a cup of coffee. We're seeing some, rejections. And so I think the DXY being calm is going to be a good thing because the S&P 500, you can see continuing to form new highs, showing strength. That's what we want in the cryptocurrency market, to assume healthy environments outside that will allow the conditions inside the market to prosper. Gold coming down, showing some weakness, and that's not a bad thing. We're going to continue to monitor this. If we break here, we could be heading towards the $1,700 level. That would be interesting to watch. That's actually a sign of confidence in international or in traditional markets and international markets, saying that we're seeing institutions hedge less into gold, putting the money back into assets. That's actually a good sign to see gold come down. So it's not a bad thing for Bitcoin, which has a lot of similarities to gold, but also has a lot of similarities to other things. So it's not just correlated to gold. And we saw that in March 2020. So thank you all for tuning into the Snipers channel today. If you want to win Principles by Ray Dalio, turn on the post notifications, comment your favorite altcoin below. It's going to be an amazing Q3 and Q4. I'm so excited to see which altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin this season. I think we're still in altcoin season. I've maintained that thesis. I hope you guys have at least given that a thought. And with that, Terry Wilson says, it's amazing how nice people are on green days. You want a book? Send me a message on Instagram. The link is in the description below. And with that, thank you all for tuning into the Snipers channel today. I didn't have my glasses on, but I wanted to switch it up a little bit because obviously Bitcoin is doing exactly what we want. There's more calmness now, and we got our entries. And so that's really what matters. And then we also got our Bitcoin entries when we initially came down to 31,900. I think in one of my videos I said we got our entry on the 19th of May, but I was mistaken. We actually got our entries here from the second retest. We waited for that. But 31,900, my Bitcoin entries and your Bitcoin entries should all be in profit now. Our altcoin positions are seriously in profit because we really got in at the right time, 2 days ago. So very exciting stuff. I can't wait to see what more opportunities come about from this market. And with that, thank you all for tuning in today. Until next time, Snipers